Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, I am showing you all of the items we're using in this school year 2023-2024 to homeschool our preschool daughter. I have a lot to show you, so let's get right into it. All right guys, so let's begin. First, I am going to try to go in order in terms of the order in which our day goes. And first of all, we do a morning basket after we have breakfast in the morning. And so we have here our morning basket, and our morning basket consists of doing a Bible story. We have several of those, the Jesus Storybook Bible, as well as the Spirit of God Illustrated Bible, and we also have the Children's Illustrated Bible. So we have 3 Bibles to choose from. Then we have this other book here. It's called My ABC Bible Verses, and it gives a brief story, a Bible verse, a brief story, and then some questions. We do this with the girls. Bella really loves this book, and I found that the stories that the book tells her about really allows her to understand the concept that the book is trying to speak of. After we're done with our Bible reading, we also do we start off with prayer. I should have started off with that. And then we also do a hymn. I'm trying to teach the girls a hymn every other week. And then I have a resource that I have coming in that I don't have yet, which will be basically the hymns printed out, because I don't know too many hymns, but I do want to learn some and teach my girls some as well. So after we do those, we do manners. This is one of the girls' favorite books because the illustrations are very colorful. So we usually just talk through any one of the pictures. We also have another book called Hoops and How to Be Them, which are short poems based on manners as well. And then we also do a poetry book. Oh, this is another Bible story we have. This one is not one of the girls' favorites. I don't know why, they just don't like it very much. They very rarely ask us to read from here, and when we do, they really don't want us to read from there. So we don't use this one very often. But then, like I was saying, we also do poems. I had to go get them from another shelf, but we have this book here, The Golden Treasure of Poetry. It has selected poems from a wide range of themes and topics. So we have about animals, we have about famous people. There are some that are adventurous, some that are like make-believe. And then we also have this one, the Children's Classic Poetry Collection. This one is their favorite. It's also a very beautiful book to look at. The illustrations are really lovely as well. So that is our morning basket. After we have done our prayer, hymn, Bible story, and poem, we then move on to this here, which I call, what do I call it? I don't think I have a word for it, but in here is supposed to be where we do our recitations. So we have recitations based on character, manners. We also do a catechism, as well as a character card, a Bible verse that we introduce one every 2 weeks or so, and then we also do some classic art as well. In addition to the classic art, if on the back of them I have the name of the art, as well as the artist and the year it was made and the material that it was used on. So we memorize those, and then if it's a new artist, someone that we haven't met before, I will typically use these 2 books that I have. It's called A Children's Introduction to Art, as well as The Story of Paintings, and I will read a little introduction on the artist that we are learning about. So these are the 2 books that I use. They're very pretty. They have the artist as well, the name of the art, the artist, and sometimes they give a little bit of an introduction to the art and whatnot. I got this art curriculum from Gentle Press. I will have it linked below, and it also consists of, it gave a lot of PDF of the art, which I had printed and laminated. So we have one for like every week or every 2 weeks or so, and it's been really lovely to see the girls look at it and just give their thoughts on it and all of that kind of thing. So we do art, And then we also do music. So we use Peter and the Wolf. It is a classical composition that tells a story, and the idea is to have like, so these are different parts of the story, like an illustration of a different part of the story. And then the idea is for them, every time they hear a specific character, so these are the characters, there's a specific musical instrument that is associated with the character, right? And then every time we listen to the story, we are supposed to identify the musical instrument that goes along with them. So that is what we do for music. The Peter and the Wolf is actually available on YouTube, so I did not have to purchase that, but these story backgrounds and the characters came with the art and music curriculum that I got online, which I'll have linked below. In this stub here, I also have the rest of our catechism things. Why did God make all things? Who made you? God made me. So Bella knows the answers to 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now we're doing 5. She's pretty comfortable with 5, so I'll be switching it out to number 6 pretty soon. Then we also do a memory verse, and I got this from Pip and J. And then I have the rest of these cards here at the dinner table on this little wood stand here, and I have all of the verses that we have previously learned. And so when we have breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the table, I just go through them very quickly. I don't make this like a keep quiet, you have to say your memory verse kind of thing. We just say it in a very sing-songy way. We have like hand movements for certain words. We just say it once. We say each of them once at the dinner table, and with consistency and repetition, they really do learn these. And then these are character cards, so they have different characters. At the back, they have points to discuss, so you have the definition of the trait, as well as things that child can do, and a verse that is linked to the character. And they came also in a set of 12, I believe. These are the rest of the Bible verses, but here we have the rest of the character cards. So respect, diligence, gratefulness. So I try to switch them out every week, but if I find that the kids haven't had a good grasp yet, then I switch it out every other week. And then in terms of the manners and the character, we literally just see this once or twice every morning. So I just have them repeated. I have fun with my family, and then what I find is that throughout the day it really helps because I have some phrases that I can reference back to when I'm trying to disciple them. And then in conjunction with our morning basket, we have grain flakes here, which only comes out during our morning basket, and that allows this toy to kind of remain special, and so they don't have access to it throughout the day, so that when we have our morning basket, their hands are occupied, and so they're listening and not causing too much noise. After we do our morning basket, we probably do some chores, and then after our chores, we settle down to do what we call homeschool. And the first thing that we do is a revision of our numbers and letters, for which I have these flashcards here. So I have these flashcards. We have uppercase and lowercase, and then we also have another one with a word that illustrates the letter. And so every day we go through the letters, both the uppercase and the lowercase, and then we also do the same thing with our numbers. So she sees the number 1, she says 1, 2, 3, and then we go through all of our flashcards. Then after we do that, we talk a little bit about the day. Actually, we probably do this before our flashcards, but this is like a little thing, I don't know how to call it, but we go through the days of the week. We have a song that we sing so that they learn the days of the week, and it's just so interesting how much they learn when they sing, because I think I only have done this for like a week and a half, and they already know. Both Katie, mind you, Katie is only 2 years old, but she already knows most of the days of the week because of this song. So we go over the days of the week. I tell them what day it is. They find the day. I also tell them what month we're in. I don't do much of the clock because I think they're still too young, but we still talk about it a little bit. And then I have them go outside, look at the weather, and choose one of those. And then we don't really discuss the 4 seasons because we are not in that time zone. But this has been really good for them. They have really enjoyed it. So after we do that part of our morning, I also have various other things that I use to help them be familiar with the letters and the numbers. I have those poster boards. So I have poster boards from 1 to 20. And then I also have this ABC poster that I can use if I don't feel like using the flashcards. And then another thing that I have here, which I use for the alphabet as well, is those magnet letters. So we have several of them here, and at the back of it has a magnet, and this is like a magnetic board that sticks to it. So this is another way that I practice letters with them. All right, so next, after we do our flashcards, we then move on to our curriculum. I have an entire video showing you what we do for our curriculum, so I will not talk about this here, but I keep this basket with our curriculum in this little tray, in this little, how do you call this, cart here. And the kids are not allowed to touch this. If they want anything on here, they can use it, like the markers and the crayons and whatnot, but they're not allowed to touch it without asking for permission. And that is just to ensure that they don't go ripping off pages and coloring on our curriculum if we haven't done any of these pages yet. I do have other options if, you know, I don't really want to do the curriculum. We have some prints that I got from Planes and Balloons. Yeah, so Planes and Balloons, they're all free, but they have a lot of various options to do, like coloring and cutting and pasting. I don't have many of them to show because the girls really like doing them, and so I don't have too many of them here. So I have some related to numbers, to letters, sorry, and then I have some related to numbers. And then I had another set. That set finished very quickly because they enjoyed it. It's like a cut and paste one where they give them a symmetrical shape, and it has dotted lines, and they're supposed to cut the other half and try to find the half of it. But then I also have these handwriting type stuff. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these little workbooks that they sell in stores. Well, I got a couple of them at a local store, and they have like numbers, and they do numbers, but I thought it was a waste having her do it just one time and having to throw it away. So I cut it out and I laminated it, and now they use dry erase markers, both Katie and Bella, so that it's, you know, they can use it for a long time. And I did this with a lot of the books. Yes, it was a lot of work, but I do think it was worth it because now they're able to use and reuse it for a while. So we have some handwriting practice here. So I have a set with numbers. I also have a set with letters of the alphabet. So they have letters of the alphabet here. I also have a printout that I paid on Etsy for, where they do like this sheet of a full name, and then I have her practice her name sometimes, but I have this one for all of the letters of the alphabet. Again, it came in one of those workbooks. I ripped out the pages and then I laminated them, punched a hole in them, and I have them together here. I also did this for another one that we have. It's called Pencil Control. I actually got this on Amazon, but it just has a lot of exercises for the kids to practice handwriting. Again, I thought it was a waste having her doing it one and done, so I ripped up the pages and I laminated them, and so she does them over and over again. And then I still have some of the books because she actually likes doing some of the activities, and I didn't think some of them were worth laminating. So, you know, like those matching activities, etc, etc, I kept them, but I did not laminate them. So sometimes we do some of those exercises as well. I also have some drawing books, which is just empty white pages that we don't really use a ton, but maybe when they're older they might have more interest in them. So this is here in this bin, and I keep it right under here. And then on top of that, I have some writing material. So I have this here, which they can write with and then erase clean. Bella has been enjoying this a lot lately because she's into drawing now. She's a lot more into drawing than she used to be, so she really appreciates this. This is a whiteboard that they use as well. This I got at a local store. I actually really like it, but it's processed with the numbers and it has two sides. This is probably Katie, because whenever I'm doing writing with Bella, Katie wants to join, so I give her something and then she writes all over it, which is what I like about these boards and the laminated ones that I showed you. I can give them to Katie so she can pretend that she's doing school and she feels like she's involved in the process, even though she's not really doing anything, and it's not a waste because it's laminated. I just remove it with a dry erase marker. We also have a chalkboard that has kinetic sand on there, and then I already showed you the alphabet letters. All right, so what's next? So I showed you our curriculum, and our curriculum is teaching our girls how to read, and Bella is so close, and I think she'll be at a stage to be able to read pretty soon. So I got some Bob books, beginning readers, and they're very simple books with just a few words. Usually they have a theme, and the idea is for the child to be able to read an entire book on their own. It's very simple. It's for kids who are just learning how to read, who knows how to sound out very simple letters, as you can see here. So I got her those. It's a series with about 12 of them, I believe. We are not quite ready for them yet, but I wanted to have them on hand for when we would be ready. And along the lines of reading, we have a Yoto player that I got her for her 3rd birthday, which she absolutely loves, and they use this every single day, multiple times a day. I probably may have to do like a separate video just reviewing the Yoto player. This is our case that we got for all of the audiobooks that we have, and they use this a lot when they have free time. So they're playing with, I don't know, magnetiles, or they're playing with their kinetic sand. While they're playing, they're listening to an audiobook. I try to read to them while they're having lunch, but if I can't because I'm occupied with something else, then I have them listen to a story on the Yoto. And then at nighttime, while they're falling asleep, they also play this as well. And then we have our case with all of our audiobooks. Some of them were purchased, and then you can also buy audiobooks online, and then you can also buy a card, a make your own Yoto card, where you can download the audiobooks onto here. So far Winnie the Pooh is their favorite. Oh, and we also got, I think this one is it. So this card, even though the name is not here, we actually bought this book here. So the Jesus Storybook Bible, we got the audio file and we downloaded it into this Yoto card, and so we have an audible version so that even if we're not reading, we can have them read as well. All right, so next I am going to show you some of the books that we have. So I try to do some of the official homeschool curriculum 4 days out of the week, and 1 day out of the week my idea is to do something related to science or something related to art. So in terms of art, I have a bin here with a lot of art supplies. I have washable paint, I have watercolor paint, I have acrylic paint, and I have, you know, sheets of paper. I have a few canvas boards as well that I allow them to paint on, and that's definitely one of their favorite activities. And then where science is concerned, I have a few books here. I am very slowly building my collection, but it is thrilling to me. But we have this book here. It's called Look Inside Your Body. Bella loves this book, guys. I think this is a must. She has been really interested. She was asking about poop recently, and so this book was fascinating to be able to explain to her what exactly happens to the food. And now every time we eat, she explains in her own words how poop comes about. But this book is very fascinating. She's been asking us about bones lately. It has lots of flaps with lots of tidbits of information. So this is a really good book, highly recommend. We have this here, The Mysteries of the Universe. I love the illustrations in this book, they're beautiful. But you know, sometimes she looks up in the sky, she sees the moon, and she has questions. She has questions about planets, and the language in here is very simple. It's not overwhelming, so I love this book for that as well. There was a period of time she had dinosaur pajamas and she was all into dinosaurs, so I got her books with a lot of pictures. Then we have this book on trees, also a really good book. Lovely illustrations. We talk about trees all the time, and this is a very good book for reference. Another good reference book is this big book of bugs. We have a lot of bugs around the house. We have dragonflies that come into the house. We see grasshoppers quite often, and so whenever we see anything, any animal, I will quickly pull out this book and then I will show them and read some little tidbits about the animal, and that is what I consider science. We have this book of Greek myths that we have not started reading to the kids. This is actually for my husband and myself. We have been reading some of the Greek mythologies together, which we have loved, but we haven't read it to the kids because we want to make sure that their theology of God is sound before introducing Greek mythology to them. And then we also have here, so this is our homeschool area. I believe I've shown you this in a previous video, but we also have this basket here which is full of what we call living books. I could probably do a short on what a living book is, but we have lots of books that we do read aloud. I try to read to the kids 2 or 3 stories every single day, and then an additional one at bedtime. So we have quite it's not quite actually compared to libraries I have seen, but my desire is to fill this house with lots of good books, and so these are some of our favorite. This is the most recent. My kids currently have an obsession with Winnie the Pooh, and this is a used book, but it is Winnie the Pooh, and then it has some poems at the end. They've been really loving reading about Winnie and the Pooh. We're also doing Charlotte's Web. They are not quite fascinated with this one, but they love a lot of these titles. And I keep these here up here because I don't want them to have free access to it, because the pages, as you can tell, they're very easily damaged. But we do have multiple areas in the house that set up where books are available. So for example, we have this basket here, but these books are different. I would not consider them living books, but they are you know, like those childish books that just have like a few sentences. I would not consider them a living book, but we have those here. They're board books, so they're easily accessible here. And then we also have a bookshelf in their room where whatever part of the house they are, books are readily available. And then last but not least, I just wanted to show you some of the manipulatives that I have, which aids in the teaching that I do. So one, I have this set here. It's counting pegs. So we have the number 0 to 10. Each of them have a space. It comes with these pegs here, and they can count while placing the pegs. That way they have an association with the amount and the number, and they're just not learning rote numbers without an idea of what it means. It also comes with this wooden pencil, which is not an actual pencil, but it allows them to be able to trace the numbers and have an idea of the shape of these letters. We have this puzzle here, which the kids love, especially Bella. Kitty is not quite capable of doing it here, but it has helped in terms of identifying different shapes and just being aware of patterns and being able to manipulate the blocks to build these patterns. We also have something very similar here, which they also love. So it comes with a card, and it shows you the shape that they're supposed to build, and then they have all of the pieces here at the bottom to help them build whatever the card has on there. We also have this, which is for sound letters. So I use this a lot when we were just teaching Bella's the letters of the alphabet. So I would show her the letter and have her trace the actual card. I would have her actually trace it in the sand. It also comes with a little pencil thingy, so she would trace it as well in the sand. And this was really great for helping her with her letters. We also got this set here, which we don't use a ton of because it has a lot of fractions and they're not ready for that yet, but we still find other ways to utilize these, especially here. This one broke, but there are some others in here that we have not used as yet. So like I said, you know, a lot of fractions, which Bella is not ready for that yet, so we just have this in stock for whenever she will be. We also have this here, which is going to be great for when she starts doing addition and other simple arithmetic. So it comes with several numbers. You place the number here and then they can use the fingers to count. So if it's 1 plus 1, for example, they can use the fingers and count and then replace the numbers. This is really cool. I really like this. Then we also have some puzzles for numbers. That was very helpful when Bella started counting. We're now using it for Kitty. We also have puzzles with animals in there. So because they cannot read, they're not able to match. But what I do is I tell them what the animal is and then they look for the picture. So this was good in being able to identify different animals as well. And then we have our little cart here, which most of the things that you see on the counter belong in this cart. And I just have some craft supplies, so googly eyes, pom-poms. I have some beads to make bracelets, pencil crayons, dry erase markers, twistable crayons, regular markers, washable markers actually. And we have a set here with scissors and glue. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and last but definitely not least is here. This is our most recent purchase and it has been so good. I cannot recommend getting a timer, especially if you have multiple kids. We use this in so many different ways. So for example, if the kids are fighting over a toy, sometimes I tell them they take turns and then I set the timer for like maybe 3 minutes, and then when it rings they switch and then the other person takes turns. This has reduced fighting a lot for us. We also do this for screen time. So for example, I usually just allow them about 30 minutes or so of a show. I set the timer for 30 minutes and I tell them when 30 minutes is done, the TV goes off. This has reduced fighting for screen time quite a bit. So that's all I have for you in terms of my homeschool haul. All right, that was a lot. Just remember that all of the items that I showed, I did not purchase them at one time. I started collecting educational stuff for my daughters since the first was born, so it's been 3.5 years in the making. A lot of these items were also gifts as well. So all of that is not just like one-time purchase, but it has been a slow accumulation, and I do hope to add a lot more as the time passes. For sure, I will be adding a lot more books into my library. I really have dreams of having like a room in our house that is floor to top, like roof to top, floor to floor library with just lovely books. Both my husband and I are avid readers. My girls also seem to enjoy books, and I hope that continues. So that's it. I'm trying not to keep this video too long. Maybe I can do like an in-depth video with my husband talking about how our views on school has changed recently. We have just had, I would say, like a change in how we see our family, how we want to spend our time together, and how school and work plays in. I think it makes for a really good video, so I'll ask him about that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this peek into our little homeschool. Please stay tuned. I really do plan on doing like some more in-depth videos with our homeschooling, a day in the life homeschooling, or our morning basket and that kind of thing. I think it's very interesting. I love watching other moms who do these types of videos because they give me ideas and inspiration for what I can do in my home. And just a side note, I started doing a lot of the things that I saw homeschooling moms doing even before I pulled my kids out of school. So if homeschooling is not for you, but there are a lot of things that you see that inspire you, don't be afraid to try it, even if you are not fully into homeschooling. So yeah, I hope this video was fun or inspirational or a little bit of both, and I hope you guys stick around. Please subscribe if you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.